Hi YouTube, Tim Unkert here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to factor quadratics when a is greater than 1. This is going to be a bit of an intro, so we're going to have a positive middle coefficient and a positive last coefficient. So we're only going to worry about positive factors. Let's take a look at this first one. So we're going to factor 8x squared plus 14x plus 3. So our strategy here is going to be to list the factors of 8. We're only going to deal with positive factors today. So 1 and 8. And 2 and 4 are my positive pairs of factors that multiply to 8. We're also going to list the factors of 3. So we've got 1 and 3. Now we've got to combine the pairs of factors such that I've got to select one pair of factor from 8 and one pair from 3. And I've got to combine the factors so that I multiply something from here to something from here and add up the two products to get this middle number. So in this particular case, if I multiply 4 times 3, that's going to give me 12. I would then take 2, the other factor from the pair, and multiply it by the other factor from the pair here. 2 times 1 to get 2. 12 plus 2 is going to give me 14. So my factored form is going to use these numbers. And these two numbers here, the factors from 8, are going to be my coefficients. So I'm going to have 2x and 4x. And I want the 1 to multiply by the 2. So I actually have to put it over here because the outer terms are going to multiply together. I want the 4x to multiply by the 3, so I'm going to have to put the 3 here. Okay? And if we look at the Punnett square, if we check our work to make sure we've done this correctly, I'm going to illustrate why we need to put them in that particular order. So I have 2x plus 3 here, and then 4x plus 1 here. So 4x times 2x is going to give me 8x squared. We're going to get our first term. Okay. 1 times 3 is 3, so we're going to get 3 here. We're going to get our last term. 4x times 3 is 12x. And 2x times 1 is 2x. So we're multiplying the inner and then the outer terms together. Okay, and these two, well, that adds to 14x. So when we combine our like terms, we get the middle term. Okay? So as you're initially doing this, you do want to always check your work to make sure that you're getting the correct factored form there. All right? Let's take a look at a few more problems, and hopefully you'll start to get the hang of this. All right, problem 2, we're going to factor 3x squared plus 19x plus 6. So I'm going to list the factors of 3, and we have a positive and a positive, so 1 and 3. And I'm going to list the factors of 6. So 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. Now we want to multiply the numbers together, the pairs of factors together, to get a sum of the two products of equal to 19. So if I do 3 times 6, that's going to give me 18, which is really close. And if I do 1 times 1, that's going to give me my additional 1. 18 plus 1 is 19. These are going to be the coefficients in front of x. So we're going to have a 1x and a 3x. And I can just write x because x is the same as 1x and 3x. The 1x is going to multiply by 1. So I'm going to have to put the plus 1 here. And the 3x is going to multiply by 6. I'm going to have to put the plus 6 here. Again, we should check this. So let's do our Punnett square. So we've got x plus 6 times 3x plus 1. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 6 is 18x. X times 1 is x. And 1 times 6 is 6. So let's check. We've got our first term, 3x squared. We've got 6, our last term. That was weird. So we got this term, we got this term, and then x plus 18x will add to 19x. So we've got that term, so we got the correct factored form. All right? Cool. Let's try another one. So problem 4, we're going to factor 30x squared plus 17x plus 2. So I'm going to list all the factors, the positive factors of 30. So 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. And I'm going to list the factors of 2. So 1 and 2. Now if I do 30 times anything, either 1 or 2, it's going to put me over. So I'm going to eliminate this pair. I can't use this pair, right? If I do 15 times 2, that's 30. That puts me over. But if I do 15 times 1, that's 15. Okay. Then I would have to do 2 times 2, which is 4. 15 plus 4 is 19. That one puts me over. If I do 10 times 1, that gives me 10. And then 3 times 2 gives me 6. That's close. 16 is close to 17, but it's not the same thing. If I do 10 times 2, that's 20, and it puts me over. So we've eliminated these 3. So we know that we've got to use 5 and 6 and 1 and 2 in some way. Okay, so if I do 6 times 2, that's going to give me 12. If I do 5 times 1, that gives me 5. And 12 plus 5 is 17. So that's the way I want to arrange it. So my factored form, I'm going to write a 5x here plus some number. And then I'm going to have a 6x here plus another number. I want 6x to multiply by 2, so I'm going to put the 2 here because the inner terms multiply together. The 5x I multiply by 1. I want to multiply by 1, so I'm going to put the 1 here because the outer terms multiply together. And of course, we should check our work via the Punnett square or FOIL or double distribution. I'm going to do it via the Punnett square. So we have 5x plus 2 times 6x plus 1. 6x times 5x is 30x squared. 6x times 2 is 12x. 5x times 1 is 5x. And 1 times 2 is 2. So let's check. Well, first term is 30x squared. We've got that. Last term is 2. We've got that. And 5x plus 12x is 17x. So we've got that. So we have factored this correctly. Sweet. All right, one more to try. And this last one's going to be slightly more complicated. Okay. So now we're factoring 36x squared plus 66x plus 28. Now the thing I notice about this is these are all even numbers. So I can at least factor out a 2. 36x divided by 2 is 18x squared. So 36x squared divided by 2 is 18x squared. 66x divided by 2 is 33x. And 28 divided by 2 is 14. Now you look, can I factor anything further out? Well, this is even, this is even, this is odd. So no, we're going to just go from there. And now inside the parentheses, we're going to use the same strategy we used before. So we're going to list the factors of 18. These are positive and positive, so we're just going to focus on positive. So 1 and 18, and 2 and 9, and 3 and 6. Okay, then we'll list the factors of 14. So 1 and 14, and 2 and 7. Now, if I do 14 times 1 and 18 times 1, that doesn't add up to 66. But if I do 14 times 18, that's way over. So 1 and 18, we'll cross that off. We can't use those. And I could try 18 times 2, that's 36, plus 7, that doesn't work. 18 times 7 goes over. So again, that doesn't work. Okay, 9 times 14 goes over. 9 times 1 and 2 times 14 is under. 9 times 7 is 63, but then 2 times 2 is 4. So that gets me to 67, which is very close, but it goes over, and 9 times 2 is 18, plus 14, that doesn't work. So we're left with 3 and 6. We know we want to use those. And we either want to use 1 and 14 or 2 and 7. Okay, so let's see. If I do 6 times 7, that's 42. Oh, and I made a mistake there. We're going 33. I was looking at the 66, so let's go back through these. Actually, yeah, I'm brain dead there. It's a Saturday morning. You have to forgive me. But let's see. So 18 times 1 is 18, plus 14 times 1 is 14. That's going to be 32, which is close to 33. 18 times 14 goes over. 18 times 7 goes way over. 18 times 2 goes over. Then 33 is what we're looking for. So we'll eliminate that. Okay. 9 times 1 is 9. 2 times 14 is 28. 28 plus 9 is over. 9 times 14 is over. 9 times 7 is over. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 14 is 32. So 2 and 9 don't work. Okay. So now we've got to use 3 and 6 and one of these to get 33. Okay, so 6 times 2 is 12. And 3 times 7 is 21. And that's going to work. All right. So 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 12 is 33. So that's going to work. So our factored form, we have a 3x. Remember, these are always the coefficients in front of x. And a 6x. And we want the 6 to multiply by 2, so we're going to put a plus 2 here. And the 3 to multiply by 7, so we're going to put plus 7 here. And remember, we have this 2 in front, so we've got to have that. Okay? So let's do the Punnett square, and we'll try and get this. And then if we multiply 2 through to check, we can really make sure. Okay, so we've got 3x plus 2 times 6x plus 7. 6x times 3x is 18x squared. 6x times 2 is 12x. 3x times 7 is 21x. And 7 times 2 is 14. So do we have our first term inside? So yes. Boom, we got that. Got our last term inside, yes. And then 21 plus 12 is 33, so yes. Now, we have the 2 in front. So if we multiply the 2 back out, would we get 36? 2 times 18 is 36, yes. 2 times 33 is 66, yes. And 2 times 14 is 28. So we have now factored this one correctly. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did and it helped you out, please like and subscribe. Thanks.